Buenos dias, dudes and dudettes. We're looking at the Tacoma today. Alright, what is going on, you guys? Welcome back to Pedal Down 4x4. And I know we just did the build breakdown on the Tacoma. However, we are going to be addressing some things that need to be well addressed on the Tacoma when it comes to the swap and whatever. So the first things first is, if you would have just seen me pulling in, the back of the flare is getting absolutely hammered by the 37s. Both sides, the driver's side and the passenger side, is just getting destroyed. The next thing we need to do is we also need to go in and take a look at how to make some new fender guards. Because of the straight axle swap, I took out the fender guards because I had to cut out the fenders and whatnot. So now we have to make new of those fender liner guard things in the Tacoma. But let's take a look at the inside of the fender flare and I'll show you guys what it's just ripping apart right now. All right, so if we take a look here, you can see this piece of plastic is getting ripped up when it's driving forward. So I'm not sure if it's eating up at the metal, but we probably can pound that in a little bit. But easiest thing to do is we're gonna just cut this bit off, maybe from like right here to like here, and then hopefully that'll solve this little issue we have. And then this is what I mean by the fender liner. So I want to make a liner that kind of blocks out this stuff right here, just so there's no like mud and stuff flying in there. It will probably rub against the steering shaft and rub a hole in it, but it is what it is, boys. All right, so let's take a look at this. This is just a piece of plastic, really. And all I'm gonna do is take a razor blade. I'm gonna start cutting right here. And this piece should just kind of come off. There we go. Cut this piece off because we don't need that anymore, Chief. Come on. Okay. All right, so that's part of the inner fender gone. Now, I'm not sure if we need to hit this up. I'll leave that on for a future date if we have to pound that in. But we'll go trim the other side and then we'll start making our inner fender guards. Okay, so apparently I already cut that guy off prior to this, which is probably why this side's not rubbing. So, problem solved. Now let's get into making the inner fender liner. Okay, so we need to make a new fender liner, and I have this, oh geez, this roll of rubber. Now this rubber is really heavy. It's heavy duty. This is actually meant to go inside of your vehicle for like a sound deadening sound mat. I bought a whole roll of it. So I'm thinking we can actually use this rubber because it's fairly thick rubber, and we can actually use that to make our new fender liner. But first, we need to do a little bit of CAD, some cardboard aided design. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting up some pieces, taping them together to figure out what shape we're gonna need. And then we'll start transferring it over to the rubber and we can start cutting it out and making our new fender liner. Okay, so I kind of have a very rough mock-up of this first fender. Let me just move this mat down here. So I have put it together with a little bit of duct tape, kind of. And now we're just going to model this guy as such. It does look like we're gonna have to use more of this than I thought, but it's all good. It's all good in the neighborhood, gentlemen. Okay, so then I have this other piece. Now I can just line up the lines that I lined this guy up with, right? Like that kind of ish. So we're gonna take our Sharpie and we are going to mark a black line on this black rubber and try and cut this guy out. Okay, so got this part cut out. Now, that is the beginning shape that we are gonna have for our fender. So let's try and put it on, see if it mocks up, see if it fits pretty well. And then we will go from there. And then we're gonna have to punch holes in it and figure out our mounting solution for this guy. Okay, so now that you guys are perfectly in my way, meaning the camera, and I can't really get around this, we're gonna try and get this to fit. And hopefully I don't knock this camera down. Right? Would you look at that, boys? I think that'll work. We're definitely gonna have to trim it down a little bit. Let me grab the Sharpie, but I think that'll work pretty good. Grab our fender liner. We're gonna put that just like that. Okay, so for sure we're gonna have to chop right here off. That is for sure. That looks pretty good. This looks all pretty good. And this is just really low, so I think we'll just cut off some of this. Okay, I'm gonna chop these guys off and then we'll test fit it again. And I'm back. That was quick. Let's take a look. What we're sitting like. Oh yeah, boy. Yeah, buddy. I think that'll work in our scenario here. Okay, so we need to figure out how to mount this guy. And I'm thinking we're just gonna self-tapper this bitch straight in, honestly. I'm thinking that's the go. Yep. Let's get the self-tappers out. Okay, so we got ourselves some self-tappers. I did look under. I have the hood popped right now, so I could look inside of the truck. Just to make sure we're not tapping into anything important, if you know what I mean. So I think first guy is gonna go right up here. Grab our little M12 Milwaukee to do the Lord's work. Okay, that's the first guy in. Now we can start lining up the rest of this. I think we can tap her in right here. Yeah, there's nothing important right here, so we'll just go ahead and throw a tap in there. Cool, cool, cool. Let's take a look. Anything important down here? Nope, there is nothing. There's barely a fender even there. Put one more right here. Okay. So now that's done, I'm gonna curve this guy in. And now we can self-tap it right into the frame. I'm gonna have to get a bigger self-tapping, or actually, maybe not. Maybe this little guy will do it. We'll see. Like I've said before, it's not like this is a super important. We're gonna just self-tapper one right here. Okay, it does look like we're gonna have to bust out the drill. Oh, I broke the drill bit in there. That sucks. All right, we gotta try to get that drill bit out. Okay, so let's try and get this little drill bit out of there. It's working pretty well. Oh, there we go. All right, cool. So let's see if this little self-tapper will go in there now. All right. She's a beaut, boys. Now we'll get one more right over here, which I need a new drill bit. Let's try and use this guy. The reason why it snapped is because I accidentally hit the coilover tower and it made me twist the drill. So let's try and do one right here. Whew. That drill bit was putting in some work. Oh, I broke the self-tapper in the hole. What the fuck? Oh, this is not going to plan at all. I wonder if I could just hit it out with a big-ass hammer. Okay. Give me my... Oh, crap. Give me my punch back. Okay. Oh, she's mint, boys. Absolutely mint. Now, if we just pull this out a little bit. Look at that. Oh, that's a runner right there. Oh yeah, and that's one side done, son. So I'm gonna continue on. I'm gonna go ahead and do these off camera, and then I'll show you guys what it looks like. I'm gonna trim off some of this excess that the self-tappers aren't gonna cover. And yeah, we should be good. So I'll come back to you guys with the final product. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. Now, that is pretty dang good, boys and girls. I dig it. I like it. I didn't cover the steering box. I think it would stick out too far. I may make another piece for there, but I mean, for right now, this is good. I just wanted to avoid this big area getting shot up. Now, obviously, there is a small gap right there and like a small gap right there. But I mean, it is what it is. That's going to prevent, I would want to say 80% of the smuts that's going to come into the engine bay. So I'm going to take out all these self-tappers. I'm going to paint the holes because I actually care about this truck. Or I mean, the tappers would still damage it, but at least I can get the paint through, and I don't know, it's a thought that counts, I guess. So now that this side is done, we're gonna go on to the other side. And that one should be a full piece all the way to the front. So yeah, time to do some more CAD work, and then we'll see how that goes. All right, so this is the other side I got done here. The brake line is sticking out too much, and I didn't cut this thing long enough, so I'm gonna just punch 2 holes right here and just zip tie it to it because it is held on with this bracket down here. And it's just gonna just hold it from flapping in the wind. That's all it's there for. Up there we are all sealed up nice and good. However, I forgot to make this bit. So I know I'm gonna self-tapper one right here. That's for sure. I'm gonna do one right there, maybe one right here. But I think that part, I'll be honest with you, I think it's good. It covered the big hole up, so we're Gucci on that. But let me throw one more self tapper in there. I'll secure this line, and then I'm gonna take everything off, paint it all black, or paint the holes black, even though it's not gonna do anything. Make myself feel better, and then we'll come back. I'll show you guys what the final product of this looks like, and then we'll get on to the next concern. All right, check us out. We're all ready to go. So I painted the holes, and then I painted everything black, and then I just said it's different color blacks. I just sprayed the whole thing, and then I'm actually gonna clean this whole fender up later on, and I'm gonna just undercoat this whole thing with some of that rubberized crap that doesn't really work and just traps moisture. So I'm gonna just spray that in here later on. But she's looking pretty good. Yeah, that bothers me, so I am gonna make a little piece for that, but that's just a little triangle, and I'm probably gonna just put there's a previous hole there, and I'm gonna just probably drill a hole right here and then call it a day at that. And then if we look around the other side, and sorry, I'm facing the camera like this because the next build is in the garage right now. So sorry, y'all can't see that. But this side is done as well. So we are Gucci, boys. And I already checked the footage, and apparently I was only supposed to do that and the fender liner. So hell yeah. All right, you guys. And then I guess just one last, oh, I see a little issue here. We are rubbing against the hood on this intercooler pipe. Yep, I'm not fixing that. Anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna clean up this engine bay a little bit. So I just have a little bit of this Lucas Slick Mist from like 500 years ago that probably doesn't work. And we're just gonna give all the pipes and whatnot a wipe down. Oh yeah, dog! Look at that. Woo! Bringing that shine back to her. Oh yeah, she looks good. She looks real good. Bringing back that little bit of a shine. We're just gonna go ahead and coat everything. Obviously, I'm not a detailer. We're just gonna give it a go, keep it a little cleaner than usual. Look at that. She is... Honestly, I just want to clean up the engine cage because that just makes the engine bay pop. Even though you have everything else, it is absolutely filthy in here. And we're just gonna clean this guy up a little bit here. Look at that. She's coming back to life. A little bit of this Slick Mist stuff. I think this is actually a spray wax and not a quick detailer, but I'm using it as a quick detailer because I can. It's my truck. I can do what I want. All right. Good deal. That's pretty much it, boys. She looks nice and juicy now. Look at that. Get you guys a closer up video. She looks real good right now. Everything else is dirty, but as long as the shiny stuff is shiny, your car looks great. It can be dirty, but as long as you make the shiny stuff kind of shiny, the rest of the car looks good. So that's great. Oh, I think I might have showed a little sneak peek there. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's going to be basically it for this week's episode. All right, you guys. So that is basically it for this week's episode. It's just a real quick one. Just some stuff I wanted to address when it came to the fender liners and the rubbing situation. Now, disclaimer, we might still rub against the metal. And if we do, I'm going to just take a hammer and hammer the metal in. No biggie. But I wanted to get that plastic stuff off because it was just annoyingly loud. Got that done. Got the fender liners done. We didn't really even go through a lot of mud, and it was just spraying crap all over this engine bay. just because the entire fender liner was open. There was just a big hole there. So now that that's covered for the most part, hopefully that does uh, cure that and not throw as much mud, because you can actually see this pre-filter. I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but it's filthy on one side, which is the whole reason why I have a pre-filter. But I will see you guys next week, where we are announcing the new project, a vehicle that has been neglected for almost a year now. So stay tuned. I'll see you guys next week. Till next time, and as always, thanks for watching.